about this particular project, I had a lot of expectation. I remember Dehradun days. We sat for 2 hours. We sat with the experts. We took their advice. And then we thought that, like the people of India, we will come out with another historical project and its reports, where somebody will get at one place the changing trend of Indian villages. Need not go to the village from our study. That was the basic idea. I think still there is some time. 1 hour is left, of course. 1 hour is wasted. But then let us start planning from the next year onwards. What Pandeyji, I would request the PIs to meet sometimes in April, as early as possible, and then to have a review. The challenge before us is selection of the books. Friends, don't take it casually. If we are going to restudy, our benchmark study must be a good study. Otherwise, if the benchmark study is not up to the mark, we don't have the vision to go for a restudy. Therefore, the selection must be done very meticulously. And of course, I would expect my PIs to read the book first and then only recommend. Otherwise, at the end of the day, we will be nowhere. So therefore, our first priority should be a meeting of the PIs as soon as possible in April itself, and then chalk out or select. Last year we could not do it for various reasons. I remember we could not choose the right kind of books or right kind of studies for various reasons. We were a little confused and we did not know much about the scope of the project. But now that we have enough experience, all of us, and I think I would request all the PIs to sit together to select about 15 to 20 books for the year 2013 and 14. This should be taken on a priority basis. The second thing is selection of the teams. I tend to think that there should be a reorganization of the teams. Pandeyji, I would request you that as long as you are at the helm of the affairs, don't send somebody who is not interested. We don't get anything positive, rather we get negative. I don't mind if you don't have a positive result, but let's not have negative results. So therefore, I am sure our younger people will be very happy to go for field work. If somebody doesn't want to go for field work, you just don't insist. And let us see, because we have been experimenting, and let us experiment once again. But I am sure there will be enough number of people, those who would be coming forward for field work. And this time, the field work should be, as friend Durgapad says, for a longer time, relatively longer time. I would use the word relative. It's not just a kind of field visit. Let us not make it field visit. Let us say it is field study trip. Let it be for a relatively longer time so that we understand. And before that, make sure that we have studied the book as a team, not as an individual. As a team, sit together, debate, find out what are the salient features of the book, what kind of methodology that has been, not methodology will be inappropriate, I would say what kinds of tools and techniques that have been used, what are the approaches of the book. Are we convinced with that kind of approach? These days people talk about subaltern studies, talk about postmodernism. Functionalism is no more, it is relegated to oblivion. Nobody bothers about functionalism or structural functionalism. Now we are talking about varieties. We are talking about postmodernist approaches. We are talking about people's perception of the things, more emic rather than etic. Let there be a proper debate before people go for field work. People talk about tools like FGD and so on. Are they properly trained? I have my doubts. Let there be orientation. I am requesting people from other places also, those who can join us, those who can train our people as to how a restudy has to be done and what kind of tools and techniques that are to be used in a restudy. Everybody talks about FGD, focus group interview, focus group discussion. But then what is a focused group? I'm sure 95% people will not be able to say. What is a focused group? How many people should consist of a focus group? Who should be the members of a focus group? Focus group doesn't mean collecting some people at some point and asking some vague questions. That's not a focused group. Focused group is also bounded by certain methodological constraints, and we have to understand that. The other day I was asking about random sampling. What is a random sample? Anybody who is on the street, pick up and say random. It's not random. Random is also a science, the science of random. We have to understand this a little bit. I'm sure, friends, we have all read them. We have theoretically exposed to all of them. Only thing is that probably we are in a government setup. We don't want to take risk. We don't want to read. 10 to 5, people don't attend office. So let us say 12 to 4, all right, but then take your assignment back home. Particularly my younger colleagues, please take the assignment back home, take a book with you, read it, and come next day. Otherwise, anthropology is now, I'm very sorry to say this, anthropology is, as all of you know, that it is in the reverse mode. It is no more rising, it is declining. And if we contribute our little might, probably the prospects of this subject will be better in this country. And we will not be ridiculed by others, those who are doing excellent work. Friends, it needs introspection. Now that you are back from the field, you ask yourself what problems you have in your work. Some of you have confessed. You are very honest. I appreciate that. But I would request all the teams to again introspect, to see, to read, and then to debate what things are lacking and how to improve it. Now, I have also a selfish interest in giving a deadline. I think about 60 days time we could give for the first report to be submitted. By the end of May, I would expect a report from all the teams, 16 or 18 reports, and then we will see, I will constitute a small committee of senior colleagues. They will review the book, review the report, and then if they ask you to go for again field visit, I think you have to go. There is no other alternate. And whatever improvement they suggest, please take their suggestions seriously, so that I shall be having at the end of the first year some good. I would be happy if there are 10 monographs, and we'll try to publish them as soon as possible, so that we can show to the government and the public that we are serious about the ambitious 12th 5-year project. At the end of the first year, we are able to at least publish 10 monographs. Our record in publication is very, very, very good. And I think we should keep up this trend. In the last 2 years, how many books we published? About 34 books we published in the last 2 years. It's not a matter of joke. So I think we will continue this reputation with your help, with your wisdom, with your cooperation. I think we would be able to publish a few more books in the next financial year. I would be delighted if you have any queries or any problems relating to this project. Just send me an email. Send me an email. My email ID will be available in the office as well as with most of the PIs. And please send an email. I will personally look into it. If there is a genuine problem which needs to be addressed, I shall do my best to address it. Kindly bear with me. All the time I am not in Calcutta, and I think this is a blessing also. Had I been in Calcutta all the time, probably I would not have been as assertive as I am today. Anyway, that is another matter. But then I shall try my best to sort out your problems. Don't hesitate to send me a mail if there is a real grievance, and the administration is with you. The senior colleagues are always with you to help you, to guide you, and then to make you a better anthropologist so that you move forward. I have a word for my colleagues from other disciplines. I have been always addressing as anthropologist because I consider you also as an anthropologist. You have dedicated your life for anthropology, whether you're a psychologist or a human ecologist. I have never heard Pandeyji talking ill about anthropology because he has internalized anthropology, and even Dr. Umesh Kumar also. He has internalized anthropology to such an extent that he always says our anthropology, as if it is his anthropology. I feel very proud. So I take all of you, whether you are a linguist, whether you are a psychologist, whether you are a folklorist or biochemist, I consider that you are well within the fold of anthropology. You have internalized anthropology, but then my advice will be, let us work as a team. That was the basic vision of Dr. B.S. Guha, the founder of Anthropological Survey of India, that it should be a multidisciplinary research institute rather than a monotonous anthropological research institute. Let us keep it up. Let us try to revive the lost tradition. Look at N.K. Bose. Look at Surajit Sinha. See, they have tried to imbibe the best of all the disciplines, to integrate all these disciplines, and that is how their studies were brilliant, to which we still refer. So friends,